It has been 2 years since Chinese-Australian journalist Cheng Lei was detained in China. She was accused by authorities of leaking state secrets and has since been in one of its most notorious blackjails on national security charges. There's serious concern for her health and well-being. But when the Chinese ambassador to Australia was questioned about her safety only 2 weeks ago at the National Press Club, he said there was nothing to worry about.
For the individual cases, there are a couple of Australian citizens in China. They are under custody according to Chinese rules and laws, and their basic rights are well protected. Don't worry about that.
But now we have images released of Lei's Beijing apartment just hours after her arrest. The photos are just one of the revelations in the Daily Telegraph's film Disappeared, the Cheng Lei Story. And joining me live is the Daily Telegraph federal political reporter James Morrow here at the desk. Good to see you.
Great to be here, Laura.
Tell me about these pictures and what you've uncovered.
Well, so, we know that Cheng Lei, an Australian citizen, a journalist in China for two years now, she's been in jail. She was arrested on charges of leaking national security secrets. We don't know exactly what, but what we have now, we've obtained photos of what her apartment looked like shortly after she was arrested. We saw that they took her passport, her computer, left a fair bit of other stuff untouched, but we get a sense of, what it was like. And in this film, Disappeared, we talked to an awful lot of people who worked with her in Beijing. Think about how scary it would be, Laura, to come into work and one of your colleagues wasn't there. And not only that, your colleague, you knew had been disappeared by the state, but you couldn't speak about that and you wouldn't even know if you were next. So it's quite a powerful journey that it takes us through what it was like when Cheng Lei disappeared, and then, the fight to get China to show some compassion and release her.
It's incredible that it's been 2 years, actually, and they are obviously trumped-up charges. She is a political prisoner in all senses. The Chinese legal system, nothing like Australia's.
Correct.
You don't have that kind of recourse you have here. But with speaking to her friends, is there any kind of indication as to why she was targeted?
Well, that's a really interesting question. There's a lot of different theories going around. At that time, the corona pandemic was just kicking off. Scott Morrison was demanding answers about, where it came from, but nobody really knows why. The best guess is that, she was an Australian citizen, and she was broadcasting for a state broadcaster, CGTN there, and that she was a target. She was targeted for her Australianness. We don't know exactly why. Nobody knows what the charges exactly were. The trial was held behind closed doors. The Australian ambassador was not allowed in to watch it. She gets consular visits once a month, 30 minutes apiece. She seems to be doing all right. We have a lot of details in the movie and in the paper about actually what the conditions are like, where she's kept with 3 other women in this very small cell. But we really don't have any clarity on why she was taken, why she was arrested. And the plea from her friends, her family, her partner who is stuck by her is to show compassion. She's a mother of 2 children who are back in Australia, is to show some compassion and let her come home to Australia. Because we don't know what the charges are, there's a way for China to say, well, she served her time, and on compassionate grounds, on health grounds, we will let her go. The hope is that maybe after the coming Chinese National Party Congress later this year, you could see some softening of that relationship.
Yeah, interesting. So the diplomatic process here is one where Australia can give China some kind of plausible room to let her come home.
Obviously with these things, it's very high stakes. Penny Wong did raise the issue of Cheng Lei with her counterpart when there was that meeting of foreign ministers in Bali recently. But of course, it's all very, very high stakes and very behind closed doors. So we don't know exactly. We're not privileged to what's happening, and probably nor should we be. But the question is, what can be done next to, tell China, which holds all the cards in this, that there's an advantage to them to show some compassion and let her go.
Indeed. James Morrow, good to talk to you. Thanks for this.
Thank you so much.
Story.